Okay, we're back with more Aviary Attorney. I left myself some notes last episode. I did not get to fully investigate last time, or at least I investigated poorly. I went to places that ended up being dead ends. So I'm not sure if this is like commentary on Phoenix Wright. Phoenix Wright always letting you have infinite time to do everything, and this one it actually mattering whether you go to places that make sense or not. I had a note that I should double check my evidence. My defendant is actually Renard Vulpes, a private investigator. He's trying to protect a girl by framing himself for murder. We believe that chocolate may have been the actual murder weapon rather than a rose, but I have no evidence to that effect because I fucked up the investigation phase. I think I have to go to the courtroom here. I guess I'll go ahead and ask chat, now that I've done my recap. Does this game ever require you to load a save in order for it to be beatable, or does it just have different results depending on how you did? Need get my stuff here. We've got Don Quixote, page 44 was missing, the Poison Rose, which we think is possibly bullshit. Page 44 of Don Quixote, which is found in the garden. The business card for Renard Vulpes, who is actually our client. Chocolate wrapper, and the ticket stubs. Well, let me turn this down a hair. It's a little bit louder than King's Quest. You feeling nervous, Falcon? Yes. What have we learned about Prince Juan? What do you know about the real murderer? Nothing. No, a little more. Trust everything is in order, because we learned that there is no Prince Juan. He's full of shit. He's like putting on an accent whenever he's Prince Juan. But he's actually the investigator. Ready as we ever will be. I said this last episode, but this game really feels like a strictly better Phoenix Wright to me. It's like made by people that enjoy Phoenix Wright and addressing a lot of the problems of Phoenix Wright directly, as well as just shortening the overall experience. You're the nervous room. This whole courtroom is nervous. Can't even maintain a stoic facade. This guy that's totally not Edgeworth. Oh, you pompous-tailed, posture-perfect. I feel like it is Judge Romulus, right? Does the primary judge look hairier today? It's a different judge. That's strange, isn't it? No. Of course there are tons of judges. There's all kinds of little things like this that are directly poking fun at Phoenix Wright. I think they do it in a way that flows naturally, even if you've never played a Phoenix Wright game before. Temporary sick leave due to a terrible accident with a flight of stairs. I'm more than qualified to fill his shoes. This is the trial of Prince Juan Querido, who stands accused of murdering Major Howell. Defense is present and ready. Prosecution is ready. Once the court sees the overwhelming evidence, the trial will be over in 5 minutes. Call the police officer who investigated the crime scene. Gumshoe. Cite your name and occupation for the court record. Just is how you pronounce it? That'll do, Inspector. We've heard your monologue before. What did you witness on the morning of the 7th of January? At 10 o'clock in the morning. You just say o'clock? Saw Prince Juan, King Louis Philippe, the corpse of Major Howell with a rose in hand, and around 24 citizens. The citizens and the king himself all attest to seeing Major Howell taking the rose from Prince Juan's hand, and then promptly dropping dead. The coroner determined with absolute certainty Major Howell died of poisoning. Aside from a prick on the finger, there was no sign of external harm to his body. Sorry, Serp. Hey, Lino, how you doing? I was hoping the coroner's report would determine the guy died from a freak heart attack or something. Something else must be amiss in the old bird's testimony. Don't waste the court's time. A high-ranking police officer would never lie on the witness stand. $10 Major Howell, 24 citizens, poisoning. Stated the symptoms were textbook. No possibility his death was natural. How was he poisoned? What was the delivery mechanism? He even commented out loud about it seconds before dying. Is there any possibility he was poisoned by something else? What an absurd thing to ask, JJ. What are you suggesting? The pricked finger had no relation to the poisoning? That's exactly what I'm saying. I don't doubt that Major Howell was poisoned, but I do doubt the rose was the cause. It's pretty great. It's a very fun send-up of Phoenix, right? Please tell the defense you found traces of poison on the thorns of the rose itself. Is he going to say he didn't? Actually, I can't tell him that. I tried to ask, but why not? We didn't check the rose for traces of poison. It just seemed obvious. Something else I like about this is that your goal is to create reasonable doubt. It's not to solve the crime for the police officers like Phoenix, right? Here's a marvelous thought. Let's prick the finger of the defendant with the rose. If there's no poison on the rose, then Prince Juan lives, and he's free to go. If it's poison, then he dies. But that's okay, because the punishment would be just and fitting of the crime. A marvelous suggestion. What is this, a witch trial? This isn't America. It's clearly a joke. We won't be able to test the rose for poison at all. Given the dangerous nature of the flower, it was destroyed by the police force. We burned it to ashes. Great. I like it a lot so far. It's a send-up of Phoenix Wright, so it's commenting a lot on a lot of the things in Phoenix Wright that are silly, like the fact that the defense attorney has to prove who did it, as opposed to just casting reasonable doubt. Or like the fact that there's different judges at different trials, because of course there are, right? Because I think it's a game that... This game is way more enjoyable if you've played Phoenix Wright before, but I'm sure that it works just fine on its own, too. Something the investigative police blindly overlooked. That's the chocolate. It's the paper wrapper to a piece of chocolate. It was found in the Louvre. We can date its consumption to the day of the incident. That Major Howell ate a piece of poisoned chocolate moments before he died. The courts won't go along with hilarious or dangerous showpieces. Yeah, they just had that one. It's also quite a bit more precise than Phoenix Wright. Phoenix Wright, you know, takes a story that should maybe be 30 minutes and stretches it out sometimes to 4 or 5 hours. This one gets the point out of the way really quickly. The prosecution is right to be disgusted. What a disgraceful display, Inspector. Get off the witness podium before I kick you off myself. Chocolate wrapper was found at the crime scene? Correct. You have reason to believe that it was consumed on the day of the incident. I have an expert food tasting witness who is willing to testify. Am I just full of shit here? How do you know for certain that Major Howell consumed the chocolate? Yeah, I'm kind of sad this game didn't do better. It's one of the only times where I've heard the Metacritic score and been really surprised, because I guess maybe it's being reviewed by people outside of the context of Phoenix Wright, but if you're looking at it in the context of Phoenix Wright, then it's brilliant, right? It may have also been judged because of the price for how long it is. It's fairly short, only like 5 hours. You do not have evidence that Major Hall consumed poisoned chocolate. Instead, you have a solitary piece of rubbish you plucked straight out of the gutter. It's weak even for you. Mr. Kingley. Swear to speak without hatred and without fear, to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth. I am a person who fishes. You are a fisherman? Is that how it is? I thought the French justice system was better than this. It's a kingfisher. Clearly he must be a fisherman. All kingfishers are fishermen. You are carrying a fishing rod. Can a man not carry a fishing rod, reel, and bait without being branded a fisherman? The prosecutor's carrying a riding crop. Clearly he must be a horse jockey. Person who fishes. Why do you carry a riding crop? I've never seen you ride a horse. Why do you, a 30-something-year-old with no health problems, carry a cane? It's a new bridge that's just a stone's throw from the Louvre's south entrance. What were you doing? I was fishing. Can you tell us who you saw? I saw a lot of people. But at 9 a.m. I saw the king. He was surrounded by his entourage. At 9:30 I saw the shifty-looking fox. I object to the witness's use of the term shifty-looking. He looks super shifty. I saw him rubbing his paws and cackling gleefully. It was wrong of me to ask such a leading question. Wow, even I wasn't expecting such a bold admission. Defense claims the rose was never poisoned, and yet here we have a man who saw the poison with his own eyes. I smell perjury. He saw a shifty-looking criminal readying poison and cackling near the scene of the crime? That's not believable at all. I wonder if I have any evidence that calls this story into doubt. Ooh, I really don't think I do, unfortunately. Yeah, I really don't think I do. Oof. This nonsense again? Make a fool of yourself. Powder. Are you sure you saw powder? How far away were you from the south entrance? 20 meters, perhaps? Doubtful you can make out powder being applied to anything at those sorts of distances. It looked like he was applying powder. That's nice and vague. You sure it was a rose? The red petals stand out nicely on a gray January morning. Absolutely sure you clearly saw a bright red flower in the fox's hands. Oh, Prince Juan didn't possess a rose. How can I say that? Guess that must be evidence that I could have gotten but didn't get. Roses are blue. A fisherman in denial. Nathan. Alright, I'll try it. It's probably wrong. claiming he did not possess a rose despite 22 witnesses testifying to seeing him handing a rose to the king? Knock it off with this moronic way of thinking. They're stalling. Shifty looking fox. Super mega shifty. Are you sure the fox is Prince Juan? He's wearing a suave hat that hangs low over his eyes. I hear that's how they wear them in Spain. Just going by his fashion sense. I heard him call a passerby senor. I thought that was peculiar. Who's with the entourage? Who is in the king's entourage? A few guards, 4 or 5, including a big dog who I heard is the guy who died. So you were sitting on the railings the morning of the incidents. What entrances can you see from that bridge? Oh, maybe this is... Great vantage point for seeing the Grand Gallery's south side. What about the other entrances? Could possibly see those areas from the bridge. Kingly witnessed Prince Juan entering the south entrance with a flower in hand, and that's what counts. What if Prince Juan used another entrance? Oh, I think I have good reason to think it's the gardens, right? Because of the Don Quixote page. I do. I have definitive proof the Prince Juan approached from the west, not the south. Look at this, a book page, page 44 of Don Quixote, found just outside the Louvre's west entrance. Take a look at this. This is the book Prince Juan had been reading in jail since his arrest. I believe he's had it on his person for some time. Page 44 is missing. That was the first thing I checked. The defendant was present in the gardens prior to entering the Louvre. The defendant entered the Louvre from the west entrance, not the south. I love that effect. Could not possibly have been seen by Mr. Kingsley. Extra 2 kilometers of walking just to enjoy the pre-murder scenery? Let's not say silly things, Cocorico. Now you're the one who's blindly speculating. It's not blind speculation, it's a viable hypothesis. Side with the one that imposes the fewest assumptions. Hey, Occam's razor. Page from Juan's book, on his way to the Louvre's south entrance. Deliberately planted the page on the off chance it would be discovered, then he took the long way around. The nerve of you to lecture me on such basic philosophical concepts. That testimony is fabricated. Utter fiction. I suspect the witness isn't even a fisherman. I'm not a fisherman. See, he admits it himself. What a twist! I like that you have a jury, too. Falcon's evidence suggests that the key component of Kingsley's testimony is false. Doesn't mean one is innocent. All he's demonstrated is that the witness is unreliable. He made the part of the story up about the shifty fox. I saw a swan lurking around the south entrance. Do shut up, witness. Your word is mud at this point. 10 minutes overdue. Nice. Recognizing that there are other trials that have to be happening, right? Accurate sentencing is always preferable to speedy sentencing. Court will resume Friday. Oh man, do I get more time? That's cool. A lot came up in that trial, huh? Why would that fisherman guy lie on the witness stand? Maybe he was coerced. Maybe the real murderer threatened the fisherman into making up a story about Prince Juan. Yeah, she's the swan lady. Let me just confirm really quick. Thought I had a profile for her. Maybe I passed it and I'm just blind. Hold on. I really like the first trial because the way it turned out, like, we were actually defending someone who was guilty. She plays a key part in this case, but getting her to tell her story is proving difficult. This letter just arrived. I think it's for you. You've been demoted to courier status, Rupert? Good comeback. Threat made with cut-out newspaper letters. Whoa, I didn't think those things actually existed. I love some of the characters have like really weird anachronistic dialogue, but for the most part the game's played straight. Stop your investigation or there will be consequences. So the letter must have originated from Major Howell's murderer. He or she must be aware that we're getting close to uncovering the truth. I can't help but wonder why they would bother since we don't have any handwriting samples to compare it to. Absolutely. If a lawyer were deterred every time they received a threatening letter, they would never get any work done. Cool, getting extra time. So I think I'm interested in knowing once the playthrough is over how this all works out. Like if it's possible to soft lock yourself, or if it's set up that there are multiple ways to succeed at the trial depending on the things you actually did choose to do. Alright, let's try going to talk to the Kingfisher. Someone kills 2 birds with 1 stone. That'd be good. I think he hangs out here, right? It's not loiter. Porcupine fellow left the building. Shoot, I think it was a mistake coming here. There's nothing to do, it looks like. All of these are just locking me out, right? Shit, that was a complete waste of a day. I don't think I can step that back, can I? I saw something about loading a previous day. Let me try saving and quitting and let me see if it does that. Load a previous day. Isn't it the one before that one? Hold on. Okay. So we're done at the Louvre. I was hoping to run into the Kingfisher there. Yeah, I didn't look too closely at it. I don't know if it changes depending on... Like, I'm curious whether it's possible to solve the case earlier if you have more evidence. Because my first day, I wasn't really great at finding evidence. Vendors and buskers, performers and thieves, bourgeois and peasants all bustle from place to place. Just want to met a flower girl here. There's a swan lady. Excuse me, mademoiselle flower lady, read like a word. Tact, Sparrowson, tact. Interested in purchasing a flower. Sold my last rose a week ago. Satisfied with a chrysanthemum instead? Don't mind Sparrowson. He fell out of his nest as a baby and has said dumb things ever since. Catherine Marie. I do like that all their names hint at their species. Romulus. Casigna. The Dementors could show up at any second. God. Should keep things on the track of the original Aviary attorney. Who bought your last rose? A charming red fox. Met him a week ago on the 6th. Don't think he's guilty. It's just a gut feeling. Pressure her. Something to say they could prove his innocence. Now would be the time to let us know. Making fun of the plot ghosts? Oh yeah. Why don't we try acting with a little more tact and finesse next time? I actually got punished for pressing her. Interesting. I don't want to abuse reloading here. I think I've been to both the Student Tavern and the Chocolate Emporium, but we'll try both. Don't need any francs. No one's interested in conversation. Alright, so that was also a burn day. You will get the true ending. Right? Finally decided to sample my fine chocolate. Return to ask more questions. Who bought this piece of chocolate? Paper served a flower-selling woman named Catherine Marie Signa. If she were the chocolate fiend, then our investigation would have become much simpler. But since she's not, how about Kingfisher? He's a person who fishes and just happens to be a kingfisher. Never encountered such an individual. Ever served a hairy wolf in judicial robes named Judge Romulus? Yes. Did you just say yes? Wolf in judicial robes. I did serve a person like that a little while ago. On the 6th of January. Did he say or do anything suspicious? Big toothy grin. 200 grams of classic dark Belgian chocolate with a custom filling. Some type of caramel he provided himself, though he unfortunately did not bring enough for me to sample. Shouldn't make assumptions. It may just mean this judge liked to eat chocolate. And the fact that he filled it with his own... that's really suspicious. We get a copy of Judge Romulus's receipt? I have the original right here. I keep them for tax purposes. That's pretty cool. So I couldn't have gotten this on the first week anyway. Memorizing the receipt's contents is trivial. I like Shadow Tactics. We played a little bit of it in that one sub-block. Romulus signed it in green ink. I knew Romulus was shady, but only truly villainous people write in green. Alright, I think that was probably the last thing that was going to be productive. But I also probably need to step back time and not screw up the investigation with Swan Lady. Didn't manage to work out what Prince Juan was hiding, but that's okay. We need to talk. Dangerous thing to do. We're missing a crucial piece of evidence. We know that he consumed a piece of chocolate before he died, and that he died of poisoning. We aren't sure chocolate was the cause. If one were to consume the wrapper itself, that may provide proof of whether it contains traces of poison. I'm not going to let you kill yourself like that. I already consumed the wrapper. Ah! He's pulling a Ozymandias on me. Oh god. I love the art in this game. This game is incredible. Brent is not on his deathbed. It's a long story. Lawyering occupational hazard. Tell me what poison caused this? I'm an expert in mental health, not toxicology. Because again, everyone in Phoenix Wright is an expert in everything that's even slightly tangentially related to their field of study. Sent for a specialist who should be here by tomorrow morning. Matter of the bill. I have to play a bunch of cards, presumably. I finally found you. You're one tricky lawyer to find. Told you to drop the investigation, but you wouldn't listen. Nani? Farewell, J.J. Falcon. That's interesting. Hey! Can't believe how easy you were to fool. I put on a cutesy voice, acted all innocent, and you ate the whole thing up. She was my client in the first trial, who I got her off, and she was actually guilty. Ellipsis. It's no words excuse the heinous act of putting an innocent man on death row. Is that the excuse you make after all your failures? Joke of a lawyer, JJ. Grandfather's shadow. It's here to tell you to wake up. Cool. The built bridge boasts a magnificent view of the lagoon. Hey, it's a kingfisher. I broke my rod fishing you out of the river. You're that disrespectful lawyer guy. Jiro Falco. Maybe if I sprinted. Take this before you go. A dip pen? Modern fountain pen. Bone handle, gold nib. This is very fancy. You were holding it tightly when I found you. Interesting. Don't call me a fisherman. Such unprofessionalism. I'm guessing that's based on actual French law at the time. The judge would converse with the jury. A firm believer a trial must be orderly and punctual. There's no room for wishy-washy dilly-dallying. But it seems rash to end a trial session the moment it's due to start. Oh, thanks, Edgeworth. Way to not cheat to win. Perhaps it would be prudent to wait 5 or 10 minutes in case the defense is just a little tardy. I love you, aviary attorney. You're the prosecution, aren't you? You have nothing to worry about. A guilty verdict is all but guaranteed. I'm not here to secure a guilty verdict. My job description is to prosecute. I am here to ensure that justice is served. Fuck yes. An unfair and unbalanced trial is not in the spirit of justice. Defense is present, Your Honor. Take a morning swim in this something. Only 3 minutes over schedule. Let's not needlessly dirty the pure name of justice. For turning up looking like a drowned rat, I ought to hold him in contempt. If you both despair. The King of France was most looking forward to standing behind the witness podium. The king? He's here? What a surprise! It's my 7th time testifying against a would-be assassin. France didn't become a great and dignified kingdom through rigorous punctuality. This is great. Objections here. Surely you wouldn't stand in the way of the king, would you, Your Honor? Something I always hated about Edgeworth is like the prosecution's always obsessed with just guilty, guilty, guilty. That's all that matters. That's my job. Dressed in my PJs at the time. Gallery, I unveiled a new painting and gave a short speech to inspire the citizens who attended. I was approached by a man claiming to be a prince of Spain. Presented a rose which is taken by Major Hall, and I think you know the rest. This is no ordinary testimony. It's the testimony of perhaps the most trustworthy man in all of France. I am the trustworthiest in the kingdom, aren't I? I have no doubts, Your Majesty. How dare you doubt your king? I want to see your best courtroom drama material. So you're presented with a rose by the Prince of Spain. I know he was telling me the truth because he called me Senor. So, I think I'm trying to remember if I'm supposed to solve this without revealing Prince Juan's true identity. I don't think I explicitly agreed to that, but I don't remember. I have a revelation that will turn this trial on its head. Juan Carrito is not the Prince of Spain. That's not a revelation. We all know the current ruler is Queen Regent Isabella II and that she has no children. Obviously pretenders. His title is self-appointed. But his name isn't even Juan. So what? The man is accused of committing murder and conspiring to kill the king. I love that, like, they're also doing a little send up of Phoenix right here, where it's like, you discover a fact that is public record, right? And in Phoenix, right, you would reveal it and everyone would be like, oh my god, Naughty, what? How could that be? And here they're just like, yeah, no shit, it doesn't matter. His name could be Juan Carrito or Bob Struney for all I care. That's fucking great. Because it's like the way Phoenix Wright is laid out, you often have to make little revelations like that just to progress the plot forward, and they tend to not actually impact anything. They might change the testimony slightly and then get you on the track to something else. Why did Major Howell take the rose? He's always been a protective fellow, just doing his diligence as a royal guard. Yeah, I appreciate that. Said you pass through the gate, I think is what that is. I don't know how to pronounce anything in French, so I'm doing my best to read around it. What did you see? Roman stuff. Room, okay. You talked to someone in the room who wasn't a member of your entourage? The king to elaborate. Giant doorstop, copper urn thing. I was offered a box of chocolates by some peasant, mademoiselle. Not much of a sweet tooth, that Major Howell was keen to accept a chocolate or two on my behalf. What? Yeah, just ignore 60% of the letters in the word. I could probably make a Marstead French pronunciation randomizer. Plug in the word and have it randomly delete 3 letters and then do my best to pronounce that phonetically. It would be funny to see how often I'm right. Could you describe her? She was a sorry-looking swan in her late teens or early 20s. She's the one that's being protected by the fox. Sounds familiar. That was it. This is undoubtedly significant. She gave chocolates to Major Howell minutes before he died. I see what you're alluding to. You're suggesting the gifted chocolates killed the Major. The evidence is circumstantial. Circumstantial? My tail feathers. Yeah, that would be great, Scar. He just died from eating chocolates because he's a dog. 2 games in a row with dogs who are guards, right? That house is a statue that is a manifestation of the River Tiber. I ought to end this trial. Do have evidence that chocolate was in fact poisoned. It's not really evidence folder type of evidence. Why am I not surprised? The drama was just getting good. Why'd you suddenly go quiet? I'm not done yet. I had the chocolate wrapper back in my office, and Sparrowson ate it. Stop it while you have dignity. The results of whatever crackpot pseudoscientific experiment you performed do not constitute valid evidence. Objection! Hey, it's Sparrowson! Sorry, I've always wanted to do that. The doctor said I have an iron stomach. Most of the poison passed straight through me. They even got a doctor's note. You can't be serious, Your Honor. The contents of that note could turn the entire trial on its head. You must allow it. I thought the job of a public prosecutor was to assist the judge. I told you, Your Honor, that's not my job. You are the worst prosecutor in all of France. This patient, Sparrowson, was submitted to Saltpeter Hospital, where he displayed a variety of symptoms. Profuse sweating, a rapid fever, and severe nausea. Diagnosed with poisoning originating from the plant known as aconite. Monk's hood, aka wolf's bane. Ah. As a mental health professional, I believe this patient to be clinically... We can skip that bit. Yada yada. Dr. Fallret. See, the king is here? Yeah, I love that the corrupt judge is clearly expecting the prosecutor to be Edgeworth. Yeah. I love the whole joke of, you're the worst prosecutor. I'm really interested in how the devs, if there's ever like a YouTube video or series about how this game was made, I can see them like having a whiteboard that's just like, what are all the things in Phoenix Wright that we want to address at some point in the story? Poisoned wrapper has introduced an element of doubt into the case. The prosecution must accept that. But is the level of doubt reasonable, significant? Members of the jury will agree JJ's evidence is still tenuous. A step above circumstantial. Where is the empiricism that's required by any good court of law? Where are the witnesses who can back up your claims? Oh, I brought a witness. Maybe she can help. Thanks, Sparrowson. What are you trying to pull off now? Surprise witness! Putting me in difficult positions, Sparrowson. Just before you arrived, we established that she's a possible suspect. You understand what you're agreeing to? No, I have no objections, bearing in mind that you're here to defend Prince Juan, not to convict Mademoiselle Signa. Prosecuting's my job, I know, right? I'm actually super curious what percentage of people went into Aviary Attorney the way we're doing it here, of like looking for ways that they're calling out Phoenix Wright, right? Because a lot of that dialogue, I mean, it works on its own. It's kind of like informing you about the French justice system. But a lot of it feels like a very deliberate, like, playful prod. That's the most direct lampshade so far. I guess here it's like a direct jab. Guard, a dog by the name of Major Hall, was happy to oblige. The guard died because I personally had previously added poison to the chocolates. Oh god. Used poison derived from monkshood, a notoriously dangerous plant. As a flower seller, it was simple to acquire. I have a feeling the judge screwed her over or something. He is a vile man who has no respect or love for the people who suffer under him. Are you being coerced or threatened? Intriguing, convincing. Love that you gain favor with the jury, but it's not something that you want to have happen, right? That gets your client, Prince Juan, completely off the hook. Lucky you. I haven't finished my examination. You're here to defend Prince Juan, and you've done that job with a disgusting level of diligence. Can I at least show something to the witness? You and the prosecutor are a pair moralizing blowhards, aren't you? Yeah, I think that you're right. That it is talking about the Japanese justice system. I think Phoenix Wright feels extra weird because they try to port it into the US in the localization. If they just own the fact that no, it's Japan, it's fine, right? I think I want to do the chocolate receipt. Yeah, because the pen contains green ink. The green ink is used in the chocolate receipt. Train ticket stubs. Parents are here. Are they safe? The wolf has nothing to hold over me. I can speak freely. Nice. What are you muttering about down there? Everything I've said today has been the truth. I did go to the Louvre. I did present a box of poisoned chocolates. It was not of my volition. I was threatened and forced to carry out the task under threat of harm. My family's been struggling to get by. The winter has been harsh, and my flower business has been struggling. This man offered me 200 francs to get us through the cold. I could not afford to repay the debt. When I attempted to bargain, he offered me a deal. Assist him with murder, and he would drop all debts. The name of the man who did this is Judge Romulus. What a creative story. Last-minute desperate attempt at passing the buck. What a brazen gambit. I'm glad I asked the chocolate shop guy about Romulus. Like, what other new characters have been introduced? Accusing a man, a judge no less, of conspiring to murder the king is a hugely serious accusation. Say the judge lent you money, then you both must have signed a contract. The contracts were all verbal. He said the money was a gift at first, only later said I had to repay him. I do. I know for certain the Mademoiselle's story is true. Holding a key piece of evidence that links Judge Romulus directly to the crime scene. You don't trust it in the judge's hands? Receipt for a box of chocolates. To a man named Romulus? The writing on the receipt is clear. A man named Romulus bought chocolates on the day before the murder. It happened to have been the same brand and flavor as the ones used in the assassination attempts. Do you have anything to say about this? Yep. Receipt's not mine. I haven't set foot in a chocolate shop in years. Can't be serious. The receipt is indisputable proof of your purchase. Watch me dispute it. What you have there is a scrap of paper with the word Romulus scrawled on it. Is it a forgery? Are there simply two men named Romulus living in Paris? You want me to dig up court documents with your signature so we can undertake a handwriting analysis? He always uses a rubber stamp. I already have in my possession a proof that the signature on the receipt belongs to Judge Romulus. It would have to be the fountain pen, but how do I prove that? I believe you dropped your pen, Your Honor. This is the whole reason why he gave us the note with the newspaper cutouts. Thought as much. Hey, he admits it's his pen. Didn't see the assailant's face, but I did accidentally grab something from their garments. Oh, that's why you smell of fish. I wanted to say something, but I thought it might be rude. Did I say this pen was mine? On closer inspection, I must have been mistaken. Only baddies writing green. Yes, but more importantly, it's a rare and unusual choice of ink color. Only a dozen people in all of Paris are arrogant enough to write in green. So Judge Romulus lacks respect for classic penmanship. What of it? The receipt was signed with emerald green ink. There's only one narrative that can tie this ridiculous string of evidence together. On the 6th of January, Judge Romulus bought a box of chocolates. Custom filling contained poison. Leveraged that debt to force the girl to present the poisoned chocolates to the king. Then an idiot by the name of Juan framed himself as a murderer in order to take the fall. Oh, a little zoom in on his face there, that's great. I was the one who wanted the king murdered. There's not a damn thing any of you can do about it. I'm the one who holds the gavel. I can have each and every one of you guillotined before nightfall. Who judges the judges? Who stands above me? I think the king is still in the crowd, right? Because that would be great. Not even God can condemn me when I sit so highly. Hey! Revolution is coming. The rebels will overrun Paris. The king and government will fall. Bourgeoisie will be slaughtered. Interesting. They've been setting this up throughout. French Revolution? Unlikely. Guess you're supposed to take over the president judge's duties? The surprising series of revelations that just took place, we believe the results are clear. We find the defendant, Prince Juan Guido, to be cleared of all charges. Hey, not guilty. I love the not guilty text. It's right out of Phoenix Wright, too. Calling out judges getting away with making all kinds of questionable choices in Phoenix. Yeah. Due process was not followed during this trial. Romulus thoroughly disrupted the proceedings. Most of the testimonies given during this session would not be seen as valid in a court of law. Hey! I see no crime to prosecute. Nice. That's another thing that's frustrating with Phoenix Wright. It's like the person effectively gets called out as guilty while they're on the stand testifying. It happens in Legally Blonde as well, right? Spoilers for Legally Blonde. But the person who actually did it basically confesses on the stand, and the judge is like, well, everyone's free to go. That's it. Put her in jail. She did it. It's like, there's going to be like months of trial after that. Judge Romulus poses no threats. No, absolutely not. There would be a second trial for her, right? But I think they've set up the prosecutor that he has the authority whether or not to prosecute, and he's decided not to, which that actually does happen in real life. Often leads to many miscarriages of justice. Poor Sparrowson. Okie dokie. You surprised me at the end with that little lie of yours. This trial's testimonies are completely invalid? Bullcock. You and I both know this trial has produced ample valid evidence for Mademoiselle Sigmund to be detained and tried. Even with the coercion, I bet she would still be found guilty of conspiracy. 10 or maybe even 5 years ago, I probably would have prosecuted her. When I was fresh out of law school, I thought my role as a prosecutor was to condemn every potential criminal that came my way. Guilty person ends up behind bars or on the hanging dock, then justice has been served. Started noticing details, extenuating circumstances, personal considerations. Gaps in the law where, even when due process is followed to the letter, good people are punished and wrongdoers walk free. Interesting. I could prosecute her, and she would definitely be convicted. I'm glad that they're having this conversation after the fact. You're a good lawyer. You're going soft. You're not terrible, Falcon. Yeah, so I thought it was consistent with the character they were building for Cocorico throughout the trial, that he's more concerned with serving justice. But I'm glad that they actually had that little postscript discussion. Like, you could totally convict her, you know? Good job, and then when you prove my innocence. Everything after that was going above and beyond your duties. Payments. Oh, we're done. Why did you come to us in the first place? Surely there are more reputable lawyers out there. Falcon's got a sucky track record. His family name is hugely respected in the lawyering world. Never heard of another lawyer named Falcon. I don't go by my old name for a reason. Interesting. Rebellion is coming one way or another. I have a surge of work over the coming days. If you want me to dig up the dirt on anyone, feel free to drop by my office. Hey, recurring character type. Hey, that was cool. I was really worried that I was in an unwinnable game state. Do I remember the July Revolution? Of course, how could I forget? Chanting, violence, smell of gunpowder, the 3 glorious days. Hey, Dies Irae. It means death. Start keeping account of all the games that Dies Irae shows up in. It's also in Heroes of Might and Magic 3. Sleeping City. Skipping work again. If I find that moping bird brain at the bar. It's 2 in the afternoon. Where the hell have you been? I haven't had a good night's sleep since the trial. That's what the wolf judge said about a revolution. That guy was off his rocker. If we worried about every potential French revolution, we never get any work done. Important business. We got a letter from the Paris Police Department. It is indeed a fancy seal. Meet me on the rooftop cafe opposite the... Oh, the Bastille. I have a proposal. Inspector Valerdi. How terse. We may as well. I need to drop by the hospital, right? He's got his bill, right? New day. Too cold to be meeting on a rooftop cafe. Maybe he likes the view because it reminds him of his days guarding the old Bastille. That's how he got his war wounds. Pretty sure he's not that old. Well, 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 the music in this game. Just like you, I was invited here by the inspector. It's hardly unusual for lawyers and the police of France to collaborate. Did you hear what happened to Judge Romulus? He escaped from prison before we could try him. The wolf bribed his jailkeeper and fled for the hills. Hey, Valerdi. It's Gumshoe. Did you get your injuries while defending the old Bastille prison? Shut up, Sparrowson. Just joking. I'm not that old. Sustained these injuries in the July Revolution. Now you've set him off. We were given the order to charge a rebel barricade. Gunpowder keg exploded, my comrades were dead, and I was heavily wounded. The Viridian Killer? What? It's a matter of national security. France is under threat from a certain heinous group. Hipsters. Revolutionaries. There's a storm brewing in the shadows of Paris. We, the Paris Police Department, have known about it for months. The king ordered for public gatherings to be dispersed and newspapers to be censored. Interview citizens, scout locations, find the secret rebel meeting location that has escaped the eyes of the police. They're having weapons supplied to them by a crooked merchant who's only referred to as the Croque Monsieur. Like the sandwich? What? It's a hot sandwich. Cheese, ham. Throw on some peppers if it's Friday night. It's an arms dealer. Okay. Suck up. I don't understand why you're asking me. I'm a private defense attorney. I work for citizens who get stuck in legal trouble. Rebel hunting isn't my forte. The judges are bloodthirsty wolves, the jailers are thieving ravens, and the National Guard are sitting ducks. You saw my shameful display at the previous trials. Those are the results I produced with imbeciles to assist me. Oh, that's nice. So it's not just that Gumshoe's an idiot, right? Aw. Yeah, Caterline got off even though she was actually guilty. Take this opportunity to do something great. Help us track down the animals who wish to harm our glorious nation. Ooh. I feel like I would probably say no. It's interesting that they even let me choose, though. Let's see what happens if I say no. Some compensation would be nice. Nothing would convince me. Falcon was always a little pig-headed. Maybe he feels put off by working with us roosters of justice. Or maybe, dare I say, he feels sympathetic to the rebel cause. Something else we need to discuss. Da-da! I know the inspector's an unlikable nincompoop, but I was hoping you could look past that and accept his offer. If not for the glory of serving France, and at least for the money. We have plenty of work to do. We must find the so-called Croque Monsieur and track down the rebels. You rejected the offer, but you're going to do the work anyway? I'm confused. Say we manage to learn exactly where the rebels are meeting. What can we do with that information? We could offer our services to the rebels. When they're arrested, we could defend them in court. Another option would be to blackmail the rebels. This is a fun way to give you a big choice, but still have you play through the content that they set up for you. Aren't we supposed to be the good guys? Well, if we wanted to play it perfectly straight, we could just give any information we find directly to the inspector. Then we'll play it by ear. We'll wing it. Cool. Wow, it's a lot of options. Jeez. Hidden library. Investigation firm. Manor house with an immaculate garden. Prison. Gotta do the hospital eventually. I guess I'll go get that out of the way now. Thank you for giving me an antidote. One hospital bed, one dose of specialized antidote. Expert medical care. 500 francs! Well, I get an advance on this month's pay and next month, maybe the month after's? Surely allow you to pay in installments. With my current wages, I should be able to pay off the debt by the 20th century. Lawyers, right? If you do some pro bono work for me, I may be able to knock the bill down a little. Debt collection. Sounds time-consuming. The man I treated for a small injury a couple of years ago, he's been evading my attempts at collecting on his bill ever since. I wouldn't normally pursue medical bills so aggressively, but I know that the man is a successful inventor. He can easily afford to front the bill. Thank you, Doctor. Every waking moment. Okay, let's stop by private investigation firm, see if you can help at all. Oh wow, he looks super different. This is our first time meeting without disguises or pretenses. Oh, it's Mousy! I remember Mousy. I love that there's the different animalese noise for when the mouse talks. Darjeeling would be divine. Why did you come here? We have a couple questions. You heard of the croque monsieur? We're not talking about the sandwich, unfortunately. The black market salesman? It sounds exactly like the person we're looking for. Do you know him? Do you have any idea how we can find him? What a large bill. Come back in 3 days. I'll tell you where and when you can find the croque monsieur. There's a price. Small fee, 30 francs. I'm running a business here. A fox has to eat. We'll take it. So I gotta go play some cards, apparently. Return in 3 days or later, I'll tell you where the croque monsieur can be found. You heard rumor of an uprising. A man can't walk into a tavern without hearing angry men whispering about violence and revolt. Can you tell us about the dissenters specifically? That's all. Thank you. Did I miss my tea? I gotta go there to play cards anyway. I need to get my cash up. I think when it's an exclamation point, it doesn't consume time, but I'm not sure. Already here. Full register of those who entered Paris Law School and the full list of graduates. Uh-oh. See that moronic prosecutor Rupert Rabbington? He was great in the first case. Don't see JJ's name. JJ Falcon changed his name sometime between 1829 and 1832. Right around the time of the July Revolution. We are birds of justice, birds of French national pride. He is a bird of prey. They've done a good job of setting this up. I always suspected JJ was a buffoon, an imbecile, a troglodyte. I would never describe him as a person of malice. Take this. These are dangerous times. If you face a violent threat, you Cannot hope to defend yourself with that riding crump of yours. Of course, Edgeworth's going to shoot someone, right? Interesting. Alright, let's go to the tavern. No drinking, bad falcon. Taverns are the first place people go to moan about the government. Wine or beer? The name doesn't sound familiar. Have you heard any of your patrons bad-mouthing the government? Pair on the drinking floor have been acting very shifty. I'm not saying they are or aren't rebels, but they're doing far too much talking and not enough drinking. I'm gonna try to get my francs up to 100 so I can pay the bill for Sparrowson. It's blackjack, right? It's 14. Stay. Dealer stands on 17, I think. Hey, busted. Yep, deal me in. Six, 7. What's the movie where it's like Austin Powers, where he like gets like a 4 or something, and the dealer's like, "I strongly suggest you hit, sir. I also like to live dangerously." Yeah. Hey, got 21. Yeah, the cards for this are incredible. I love the art in this game. I wonder what this game would have rated if it had sold at $5 at launch. It probably deserved to sell for more than that, even though it's so short. It's interesting for me, it being short is an advantage. Nope, that's 2. Alright, so we're down 5. Ah, busted. Down 10. I need to pay my medical bills. Gambling is the best way to do it. $10 there would have been divine. Nope. This is officially not worth it. I'm done. Sorry. Maybe someone else will give me money for something. That's when the Mademoiselle told me to put the order in. No idea where she's going to keep him, though. I don't want to go too far in doing this investigation since the fox isn't going to do it for me. Do you smell that? It smells like eavesdroppers. What are you talking about? We want to join the rebels. Seen you around a couple of times. We're acquaintances, I suppose. The line of work involves a fair amount of investigation. I don't claim to be part of any secret rebel alliance. I've never heard of such a thing. But if I were a member of any such hypothetical group, I would not allow the entry of a man of the law like yourself. That's a solid shutdown. Heard of the crook, monsieur. If we ask directly, they might be scared off. Crook, monsieur, tell me everything. Where'd you get that rifle? Evidently. Beauty is something special. It's American from the Springfield Armory. Model 1812. Must have been hard to procure. Can't buy guns of this quality from standard street sellers, but if you know the right people. The Book of Judges. It's from the Bible. The Book of Judges. Old Testament stories of God smiting people and stuff. Just take it, idiots! Trying to be low-key. I can't do that if you're mouthing off with that big beak of yours. Joshua judges Ruth. There's an excellent friar who performs Bible readings at the Notre Dame Cathedral. You sure this isn't all a religious metaphor? That's all. Shouldn't get involved in this rebellion business. Do whatever you need to do and then get out of Paris. Collection of stories from the Bible's Old Testament, given to you by Fontaine. Judges are specifically like the Avengers of the Bible. It's a bunch of like superhero Hebrews. Alright, let's see. Eccentric engineer. Go ahead and do that. Allow time for the Fox to do his investigation. Renard. Debt collectors. Cough up, scumbag. Lawyers, let's talk. Here to collect debt you owe. Don't have enough money on hand. Brand new invention that will blow the doctor's socks off. Device that will completely revolutionize the surgical field. Device isn't finished yet. Missing some crucial parts. Hey.
It's the mystery.
We just finished the previous trial.
Okay.
This one, we were asked by the police inspector to help stop the French Revolution, basically. And I turned them down, but I'm trying to investigate the rebels and an arms dealer associated with the rebels.
Why would you turn them down? I thought you were pro-guillotining the rich.
No. He wants me to stop the French Revolution.
Oh, I'm sorry. I got confused. Yes. Okay, very good. And that is... Hey, everyone. What's going on?
I'm also trying to pay the medical bill of Sparrowson. He helped solve the previous crime by eating the chocolate wrapper and he got sick.
Ronovan. 18. I didn't know there was a second French Revolution. And this is why history was not a good subject.
I need a copper pot. Saucepan? What on earth for? A necessary component of my invention. When a zinc rod is suspended in sulfuric acid accompanied by a copper surface, a current is generated. 1 copper pot. High-grade string to bind some components of the device together. Look, I have a loose thread on my jacket. Take it. Fishing line grade. Groceries, perhaps?
Banana.
Okay. We came here to collect on a debt and left with a shopping list. So I guess there's an expensive way to do each of those and a cheap way to do each of them. Shoppers. Passage. This is where we should run into the kingfisher who might have the fishing line. Or would I get a pot?
Grocery store. Ooh, a kitchen. Go just steal it from a kitchen.
Shit. Assume I don't just have one in my office. Well, let's get the fishing line. But isn't the rude lawyers? Well, it's just that he's a kingfisher and he doesn't want to be stereotyped as a fisherman. He's just a guy who fishes.
Sure.
My fishing line snapped when I dragged you out of the water the other day. I had to buy a new reel. You owe me 2 francs for the fishing line and 1,000,000 francs for saving your life. I don't have 1,000,002 francs. 2 francs for the line and we'll call it even. Fine. I have some questions. How's the fishing?
So you're gonna bullshit a little before you get into it?
No, I need his fishing line. Do you think that fishing line would work as the high-grade string? Would it be possible for us to take that new fishing line off your hands? That was compensation for the old line. If you want to buy the new line, that's a whole separate matter. 10 francs? It cost 1, but I added a little markup. That's obscene. Oh god, if you could give me some bait, I'll provide you the line for free.
Like, but
Or sweet sweeter.
Same.
I'll be back later. Have you heard of the croque monsieur? Doesn't ring any bells. Did the man name himself after the sandwich, or was the sandwich named after him? I can only aspire to have a sandwich named after me one day.
I was like, why are you reaching towards myself?
He'll give us all heart attacks, that's all. Bye, Mr. Fisherman. He hates being called that. Alright, let me check up on what Renard has discovered. It's aspire to have a drink named after you.
You dope.
Something on the top.
Oh, that would be even better. Yep. Oh man, what would it be?
Hit me with the bad news first. The croque monsieur refuses to speak with anyone who does not know a special secret password. You want to make the croque monsieur anyway? I've learned that he lurks around the Rue des Marmosets? Oh, Monkey Road. Oh, Road of Marmosets, okay. The password shouldn't be too hard to uncover. We have to find someone with a loose enough tongue. Okay, so I still need to figure out the trick from the Book of Judges.
I actually want to try something today at Taco Bell. Different. I changed this up. So they make a chalupa, which is this like crunchy deep fried pita kind of thing. Then you have chicken in it, and they normally put sour cream. But I think I'm going to try it with spicy ranch instead.
Oh, that sounds good.
I tried it with nacho cheese instead last time, and it was pretty good, but I think the spicy ranch might, you know, kick it up. I'm not the biggest sour cream fan. It's okay.
Monsieur Friar. Do you know what tact is, Sparrowson? He's Remus. I wonder if he's Romulus's brother. That friar, he looks eerily familiar. In fact, he might actually be Romulus. Romulus was the judge in the previous trial, and he was actually also the culprit, but he escaped from prison.
Oh.
He was trying to murder the king. Does look familiar. Am I going mad? You look like a judge we once met. Judge Romulus? I get that all the time. I'm his twin brother. Hey! Got in trouble with the law recently. I haven't seen him in weeks. Could you take a look at this? Book of Judges. Special passage readings. Chapter 15, verse 2, to be particularly enlightening. Oh yeah, Samson. He's one of the superheroes from the Book of Judges. He kills all those people with the jawbone of an ass. There's an episode...
the hair, right?
Yeah. There's an episode of Pinky and the Brain where I think the Animaniacs writers were having they're like taking the piss out of the censors because it's about Samson, and they keep saying in the episode the jawbone of an ass. I remember it saying like they can say ass on TV, but I think they argue like no, it's a Bible story. You can't tell us that we can't say it, and they were like, "Fuck, they're right." Anyway,
Interesting.
Samson's confronted by the men who are angered by Samson's notion of justice. 3,000 men of Judah went to the top of the rock Etam. They said to Samson, "Knowest thou not that the Philistines are rulers over us? What is it that thou hast done unto us?" And Samson said unto them, "As they did unto me, so have I done unto them. As they did unto me, so have I done unto them."
Okay, this
Beautiful
is a
sentence.
kind of thing. I didn't know that was in another part.
Oh yeah, all over the place. It's barbaric.
Yeah, what did he do to them? Like scalp them or something?
As a society, we've moved past the need for petty tit-for-tat revenge. Samson was a judge, not a judge of today who sits on a high chair and files down this paperwork, but an old judge.
What's a shop it?
Admired and feared, they made their own judgments and dispensed their own punishments.
Like vigilantes.
The key word of the day is Etam. It's the name of the cave where Samson hid, the rock of Etam. Like a backwards mate. So I'm sure that Remus is on the side of the rebels as Romulus was. And he could actually be Romulus, too. Also, when we're talking over each other, it can be janky. Yeah, you want to speak clearly into the mic.
Sorry, I'm a little... Today's my rest day. Sleepy.
What's with the scaffolding? Cult of Reason did a lot of damage back in the days of the Revolution. What's the difference between a religion and a cult? Don't be rude, Sparrowson. All ideologies look like gobbledygook in different packaging, don't they?
Yep.
Pretty much. Sparrowson's great. That's all. Okay, so on Friday, I have to go to the Road of the Monkeys. And pop there now and see if it lets me do anything since it says it won't consume time. Today is not Friday. Oh, it isn't, is it? Okay. Alright, I still need to pay back Sparrowson's medical debt.
And you have to get bait, and you have to get a copper pot.
Yeah. Bait, he said I could get sweets. But it would have to be significantly cheaper than...
10 francs for the fishing
Yeah.
line.
Of course I remember. You're the messieurs who ask many questions and buy little chocolates.
Scar in the end of his trunk.
He does. It's awesome. This game's art style is incredible.
It's pretty funny.
You heard anything specific? Heard of the Croque Monsieur. One time I was hiking through the mountains of the Netherlands and I was accosted by an overzealous tulip salesman. Take a Croque Monsieur, some paella, and a stein of mead.
That's where I know that from. I didn't realize that was a sandwich.
I'll just have a small injection of
Liquor.
Slim. 2 chili dogs coming right up. Futurama.
It's Futurama, the Roswell that ends well.
It's like, don't forget, Professor, we're in the 20th century. It's like, right. It's a little silly for me to look for intel in a chocolate shop. This is, in fact, a chocolate shop. I'm a much better service as a chocolate salesman than a rumor mongerer.
It's the infamous episode that won an Emmy, right?
Yeah.
That one won an Emmy, and then it also is where Fry becomes his own grandfather by banging his grandmother and getting her pregnant. There you go.
I have a box of chocolates for a friend. May I have a recommendation? Am I the friend, Falcon? Is this a gift for me?
I did too, the nasty and the pasty.
Yes, barely. That past nastification.
That's such a good line.
Box of 20 creamy chocolate swirls from London.
We just buy one.
Take them, take them, take them, take them. Cut it out, it's weird.
You're weird.
5 francs. Hey, it's cheap. I'll take. Can I get a discount? Can I get a good guy discount for being such an upstanding citizen? Just kidding. Of course you can. I'll give you these for free as a token of Belgian generosity.
Really?
Fantastic. You have been a great friend and an inspiration.
Doesn't he?
I have ample amounts of respect for you as a person. You know these chocolates aren't for you, right? Just making sure. Oh, poor Sparrow.
You really need all 20? You could probably give one to the Sparrow.
Okay. It's Thursday, so I can go get my fishing line. The rude lawyers are back. How's the fishing?
Oh, really? You have to, like...
I have bait. Yeah, these would definitely work. Fishing line has been added.
Do you have an alternative fishing? Okay, good. I'm just saying, like, you do know that's a problem.
I did not think this through. That's all. So if I had gotten to the chocolates first, that would have saved me some hassle. Road of Marmosets. I don't recognize you fellas. What's the password? Oh, I took you fellas for bird-brained cops, but you actually know the secret password. You're the Croque Monsieur, are you not? That's Croque Monsieur.
Oh, get it!
Mon Dieu. People always get the pronunciation wrong. I'm not really hearing the difference. That's great. Why do you think I use an alias? Tell me what you want. Drugs, guns, explosives, slaves? Cheap gun. I want to buy a lot of them. I sold out my customers. It wouldn't be good for my reputation now, would it? Money beats integrity any day. 500 francs. Do you take checks? I don't take pocket lint either. It's the fudge. Cheese it.
Oh, did you guys ever put, like, chips on your sandwich? Have you ever done that? I did that all the time as a kid. I would get, like, a bag of, you know, Cool Ranch Doritos with my ham sandwich, and I'd put the Cool Ranch Doritos on, like, lettuce.
We were on the crux of extracting vital information about the rebels, but your smug entrance ruined everything. Something more pressing I need to discuss with you. Answer this question sincerely and honestly. Did you go by a different name prior to enrolling in Paris Law School? He did, in fact. Need to hear it by your own beak. Yes. Why would a man do such a thing? Croc, run. We haven't finished our discussion. Like how they made sure that Sparrowson wasn't there for the revelation that I changed my name. Looks like a stumpy reptile, but he ran like a gazelle. It lost him in no time. Drop something during the chase. He need to exercise more Sparrowson.
Don't judge me.
I think you should play through this whole game at some point. It's pretty short.
Must have a blister or something.
Got something in my shoe.
Is there gonna be a clue?
Oh, that looks like the receipt. It's a list. 40 muskets, 20 pistols, gunpowder, 3,000 musket balls. That would be really crazy, Serp, yeah. The contents and quantities of the goods are probably intended for the rebels. Sleeping city, where could that be? Well, it's a city that sleeps a lot. Somewhere in Spain would be my guess.
For Spain.
It's not a literal city. Sleeping city is a code phrase.
Something like that. That's sleep in Spanish.
Hmming is getting us nowhere. We need a person who's knowledgeable about all manners of riddles and puzzles. A know-it-all. So you can try the library. Sign is difficult to read. There's no way it says that. You just made those words up. All words are made up, Falcon. I feel like Sparrowson is Andrea. Go back and read through all of Sparrowson's dialogue. Hanging bushels of onions. Confederacies of onions. Okay, we're done. Noah's Bar. All animals welcome, except mosquitoes. Not saying all mosquitoes are bloodsuckers, but oh, keep it classy.
What was he gonna say? They really like to suck?
Someone called him to describe the word Descartes on it. DeWall. Someone thinks they funny. That street lamp look broken to you? Ground is covered in glass from the broken panes. That explains why my foot is hurting. Oh, interesting. Someone put Descartes before the horse. Want me to file away the broken glass? Making an official complaint to the government. I wonder if you can actually get away with that to get some money, right?
What, selling glass?
No. Pressing charges and suing them.
Oh.
Originated from broken street lamps. Copper pot and a reel of string. Okay, I think I'm done. I appreciate that they tell you whether you're able to highlight something and then they make it go away after you've already investigated it.
So you don't just like keep repeating like, oh, did I look here? Yeah. I did look here.
It's called a pixel hunt and it's really frustrating in adventure games.
You're really frustrating.
Oh, this is new. La Leon.
Oh.
Is the room to your liking? What are your thoughts? Is the room suitable? Dark, cramped, and more than a little macabre, but it'll do. Your weapons are safe. Are we doing the right thing? There cannot be change without bloodshed. No revolution without revolution. Nice.
Wait, who do they want to kill? The king?
Oh, they're revolutionaries.
So who are they revolting against? The king?
Among others. They're rich.
Oh, I get to be the one to pull the trigger. Sounds like there's a specific person she wants to kill. Or was she just being dramatic?
I think she was being dramatic.
I see.
Let's do the library. Nathan might like riddles. All librarians like riddles. Seems like a bit of a stereotype, that's all I'm saying. He's Nathan.
Ah.
Pleasure to see you again on this fine day. Do you like riddles? Of course. What has 2 mouths and 4 ears, yet talks twice as much as it listens? That would be us. It's you. You come in here yammering and yelling, never stopping to close your beaks for 1 minute. Laugh, Sparrowson. We need to get into his good books. See. What was that? I can't fake laugh. Stop this farce. He uses bones to slaughter the rebels. The jawbone of an ass. You have some inane riddle you want solving. Let's hear it. If you were to say that there was a place called the Sleeping City in Paris, where would it be?
A hotel.
The riddle was trivially easy. Plenty of locations that we call the Sleeping City, but only one place earns that title in Paris. Or just fact-checking.
Yeah,
right.
I mean, it's pretty obvious.
What kind of city is only inhabited by those who sleep all day and all night?
Cemetery.
Cemetery.
Ah, I got it before you.
Spain isn't a city. Spain, Madrid, you're remarkably dense, aren't you? Acropolis. Bird brains.
Probably. Is it under the ground?
Catacombs.
Yes.
Yeah, I think that part of the way that they planned out this game is they made they had a whiteboard that had French stuff in the 1800s and goofy shit in Phoenix Wright. They cobbled together a story, and it's great. I love it. And also animals, right? They do a lot of good animal jokes. Tell us about the catacombs. The Shadow Hearts approach. What do we know about America? Machu Picchu? Cemeteries of Paris were overflowing by the end of the last century. To create space, King Louis XVI ordered for old skeletons to be excavated and put into the unused mine tunnels. Basically a grave for a few thousand skeletons? Millions more like. How can we get in? If you're hoping to pay a visit, you're too late. The church had all the entrances sealed shut fairly recently. They considered the turning of a mausoleum into a tourist attraction to be in poor taste.
I mean...
There is such an entrance, it's not public knowledge.
Go to the library and hit the ground that has the X, but you have to make sure you hit it whenever the librarian is stamping so that they don't get wise as to what you're doing.
I love that fucking scene. X marks the spot.
X never marks the spot.
You two dunces are going to get yourselves killed. The dead people. No, Sparrowson. The church.
Oh, right. Shit.
Alright, so I still need a pot. I'd like to avoid paying for one.
Go to the tavern and steal it.
Impressive manor house. This was from the beginning of the game.
They might also have one you could steal.
I'm betting it's here. Help me out with this little dilemma. Which country is better, Great Britain or the United States of America?
Number one!
Sure. British Empire's magnificent.
USA.
The USA is still a young nation. Anything could happen to it. Thinking of taking a trip. Everywhere I go in Paris, people are angry and depressed. It's like violence is about to break out at any moment. Baron's passing, yeah. The Baron was the guy that we effectively got him arrested for the murder that our client actually committed.
Was this the cat?
The cat, yeah.
I remember that. Oh, great. You got a copper pot? I'll take a copper pot off your hand.
Farewell, Sparrowson.
Hey, give me a fucking pot. She doesn't have a pot. She just said that she's doing an estate sale. Fancy house like that has to have a pot.
I'm supposed to be asking questions. That completely slipped my mind. Only one with enough sense to get out before the violence starts. Shit, I wasn't able to explore the house.
That one seemed really promising. I thought it was going to be like, actually, yeah.
Including this pot.
Including this pot.
Yeah.
Exactly. Bummer.
Unusual shops and parishes. That was the only other place I could think to get a free pot. I'm going to go ahead and get the catacombs entrance taken care of. Hey, it's Romulus. I guess he isn't posing as his brother. Silvius. Here's your pen back. I borrowed it. Oh no, maybe he could actually be Romulus. But he does have a brother that's in the Revolution. Someone's coming. Go hide. Brothers have returned. What can I do for you today? Well, I learned about the catacombs under Paris. Figured there's a super secret friar-only entrance that only you know about. Not the first birds who have asked about that. Perfect posture? Sooner you're one-eyed and scowling. If you've entered into the catacombs, you will not return. I love the zoom in there. Is that a threat? Just a friendly word of caution. Just take something from the friar's pocket when he gave his little warning. It's becoming a bad habit for you. It's the pen!
It's a copper pot!
Bless you. Bless you. It's not like we can beat information out of him. Let's do other stuff. We'll stumble across some more clues. I don't know if there's some like fateful day that we're quickly approaching. I think there was one in the tavern. Wouldn't be one in the court. Guess I can visit all these places now without it consuming time. Okay. Let's go into the places that are free now. Quark, the jailer. Oh shit, that burned time, even though it said it wouldn't. Maybe it's something that's supposed to happen on Wednesday. Cutscene. There he is. The rooster who shot the croque monsieur. That is gonna be they're doing a send up of Phoenix Wright because the rooster's basically Miles Edgeworth.
That means nothing to me.
You watched like tens of hours of Phoenix Wright.
Tens of hours?
You
played tens of hours? I probably watched maybe up most of 5
Miles
hours.
Edgeworth is the prosecutor.
Oh, that guy! I forgot his name, but you said the prosecutor. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
His dick. Is he blonde?
No.
Okay, see, this is how much I remember Phoenix Wright. I remember objection!
Spam? It's from Cocorico. This letter reaches you uninterrupted. That means that I've been captured or killed by the rebels. The inspector gave me a tip-off of a midnight trade between the rebels and the croque monsieur on the road of monkeys. Tended to watch from the shadows, but I know that such a mission is a dangerous one. Wish me luck. This is the last correspondence you'll ever hear from me. I suppose I should end on a positive note. You are a good friend and an excellent lawyer. I'm sorry for belittling you all these years.
So Severin Snape is the prosecutor?
Cocorico is, yeah, he's Miles Edgeworth. There's a case in Phoenix Wright where it opens with a vignette of him shooting someone. This letter has to be a setup. If that train was at midnight last night, it's 10 o'clock now. I might still be okay. Gotta act fast while there's still time on the clock. Severin isn't already dead. He will be very soon. We've messed up. We've missed something. We overlooked something vital, and now Severin's fate is sealed.
You get that pot, Dylan. Just go buy it. You're all obsessed with getting the pot for free, and now fucking Severus is gonna die.
No time for wheezing. If Kokoriko was last seen around here, then there has to be a clue near. Pool of blood here. Drag marks toward the tunnel, which leads straight to the river. Several sets of bloody footprints, too. Footsteps lead to Notre Dame. Where's a friar when you need one? Shouldn't we get the police involved? Police can't be trusted.
That's probably.
Anything's possible. We have to stay focused on the trail.
The catacombs?
Hey, it's Quark. Okay, dummies. I had no idea you were a religious man. I said Sparrow since basically you even got the basic name right, called him Quack.
It's close. You have a lot of the same word or letters.
Following a trail that leads to the door behind you, we need you to let us pass. Door leads straight to the catacombs. You don't want to go there. You also had a poison candy wrapper for science.
Science.
Could I give him a present?
You can give him the pen.
Probably gonna need the pen later.
You can give him the glass.
Because he's like a raven, just likes random shit.
Just give him 10 francs.
I don't have... I guess I could have used the candy here.
Well, at some point you're going to have to pay 10 francs. Just pay 10 francs and move on with your life.
Here's 10 francs.
Here you go.
Here's 10 more. That was expensive. Should have just punched him. Expecting a hidden bookcase or something?
Kitties.
Looking straight into a pitch black maze without a torch. Here goes nothing. Can't even see my hand in front of my face. I should take up smoking. If I smoked, I would have a match right now, and we would be able to see where we're going. Plus, you know, all the health benefits. I'd probably be calmer. Hey, they planted the loose thread in the jacket. I love it. Just like Theseus and the Minotaur. There aren't any Minotaurs in here, are there? Head of a bull, body of a bull. Scary stuff. That's not... Never mind. Like, what is a Minotaur in the Aviary Attorney universe? Breezy path. That's not stone. It's a spooky skeleton. Path branches again. Follow the light path. Listen. Whoa. Hey, it's revolutionaries. What is your name? Are you with the police? The Royal Guards? Speak, bird. Or Edgeworth. Didn't react to coaxing, didn't react to torture. Maybe it's time to administer some justice. Public prosecutor. Can't be having spies running around our base of operations, can we? I love the look of this place. And I love that the catacombs are all animal skeletons, because of course they are.
Have you seen a human?
No, I mean, it's the setting. I just didn't think about that.
So it's those little details.
So they've got Kokoriko here. Miles Edgeworth. This is no ordinary spy. He's the bastard who condemned my father 10 years ago. You remember the trial of a homeless lion in the winter of 1835? What are his crimes? Trying to feed a starving child. He took a handful of vegetables from a grocer's stand. He was seen by a policeman. Remember your sharp words. This man is a thief. This man is a scoundrel. He deserves the harshest punishment possible for his crimes. Because we know that Cocorico has changed. We learned this in the last trial that he used to be like, I'm a prosecutor and that means I need to get a guilty verdict. And he's changed now where he's like, I need to find justice. So he's like, you know, it's more complicated than just being lawful neutral, basically. This might have been the case that changed his mind. Father received a sentence of 5 years. He died on his third. I've seen thousands of cases. I'm not going to remember a single bread.
Vegetables, pay attention.
Silence speaks volumes of your guilt. You have been tried by the people of the Second Republic. We found you guilty on the counts of conspiracy, of the murder of the croque monsieur, and the murder of my father.
Who's the jury?
Don't pretend for a moment that this mob resembles a court of justice. Read this man his last rites. We have to make a move. Say something. Speak.
Hey.
I like Cocorico. Get out of here. Find the police, Royal Guard, anyone. I'll stall for time.
Sounds like a dick.
Just pull the trigger and be done with it. Wait. This is a terrible trial. There's no evidence, no defense, no examination of the facts. Are we going to do a fucking trial in the catacombs? That's rad as hell.
Wait, while you're stopped, who's the tied up person? Is that Kokoro?
Yeah, that's Cocorico. Okay. They're doing a trial of him.
So who's the guy in the top here?
These are other revolutionaries. Who the cluck does this bird brain think he is? I'm this man's defense attorney. You're a raven loony is what you are. I've seen him eavesdropping before. He cannot be trusted. Hey. Let's see.
Who do you have rapport with?
I've only met on a couple of occasions. She seemed like an intelligent and reasonable person. Do you see something wrong with dragging someone off the streets and executing them without trial? I don't enjoy violence, but I have no qualms with a traitor or two dying to achieve that noble goal. Shooting this man right now would not bring you justice. It would only serve to satisfy your desire for revenge. Due process, fairness, rationality.
Too bad there isn't like civilization. I guess that's due process.
Yeah.
It's being civilized. Because due process, she's going to come back and be like, that's what they did to my dad.
Yeah.
Fuck that shit. Maybe it's rationality?
I like that it's rationality. Justice is carried out on the basis of hard facts and logic. It isn't distracted by petty emotions. This is your opportunity to prove it. Show that you're a leader who acts with reason, not brute irrationality. That's fucking cool. That's super cool.
You were right. Now you're having a trial. Dun 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 dun.
I volunteer.
Oh.
Okay, Remus is be the judge. What about the jury? I don't trust your peers to be impartial. We're being watched by countless dead men and women. They'll be our jury. In practical terms, it's me you have to convince. I am the one who holds the gun. Stands accused of the murder of the man known as the Croque-Monsieur in cold blood. Stroke of midnight, 2 gunshots were heard on the Rue des Marmosets. Pierrot alerted us, and we managed to arrive before the police did. On the scene, I saw the man known as the Croque-Monsieur, a good friend of ours, lying in a pool of his own blood. Standing over the body, I saw the murderer, Cocorico, still clutching his murder weapon. One of us did see the incident itself. Found this pigeon running around in tunnels.
Sparrow, asshole?
He's with me. Carries my bags and stuff.
I trust you don't have any other assistants. Trust you don't have any more uncles at this hotel.
Yeah, right. Saw someone lurking in the catacombs. He was watching from the shadows. He got spooked when he saw me and he dropped this. Political pamphlet? Cult pamphlet.
Ooh.
Pamphlet on the Cult of Reason, found by Sparrowson in the catacombs. Interesting.
Is that like common sense?
You witnessed the crime for
It's pain, right?
I think that's common sense, yeah.
Awesome. Paid attention in history.
Did I just say an oath or something? Okie dokie. I saw it plain as day. Croque-Monsieur was minding his own business on the Rue des Marmosets. All of a sudden, this brute of a rooster appeared with his gun in hand. Croc slumped to the floor. Using the last of his strength, the Croque-Monsieur drew his own gun. The Croc fired back. Cocorico shot first. Oh, no problem, 6-gun. He paused the clock. Sorry, I don't see DMs during stream.
Okay, so what do you think happened while we're paused?
I don't know.
Do you think that his life was in danger and that the Croc was going to kill him, and so he killed the Croc first, or the Croc wanted him to kill him?
I think something fancy is going on.
Croc isn't dead.
Yeah,
It was
something
just
like
ketchup.
that. Pierrot's not the sharpest knife in the kitchen, but he's honest to a fault. Cross-examination means that Falcon would like to waste her time by asking pointless questions. Be asking questions and only questions that relate to the task at hand. Hey, get to cross-examine. If I get the slightest inkling you're rambling to stall for time, I'll end this trial on the spot. Start questioning the shoe size or the size of Croque-Monsieur's underwear. I'm losing my patience. Select a statement to question. Saw it plain as day, minding his own business. The rooster fired. Bam. Plain as day, huh?
It occurred at night.
Crime occurred at night. In February, on an overcast, moonless night, an unlit alley. It would have been too dark to see. I swear I saw what I saw. Oh, the lanterns, we know that they're broken.
Oh,
look at that, the stupid glass thing. We live in La Ville Lumiere. There's a gas lamp in every street.
Gotcha!
They wouldn't have been any good. Take that!
Or take that, that's...
They're non-functional. Still got the holes in the sole of my shoe. Double proof.
Double yes.
Yes, double yes. Send one of your underlings to see the broken lamps for themselves if he wants. I don't remember whether the street lamps were or were not broken, but I do remember we had to use a torch to light up the scene. Stop quibbling, both of you. Piero's testimony is accurate because I personally saw the rooster at the crime scene 1 minute after Piero did. There's plenty of time for the real murderer to escape and for a passerby to stumble upon the scene, is it not? You must acknowledge that it is a possibility. There is an inkling of doubt. Don't badger the prosecution.
Badger, badger, badger.
Someone among us who's something of a gun connoisseur. Oh, that's me again. Get off the stand. I don't have the gun evidence. Maybe if I had bought one from Croque Monsieur. I know about guns, their mechanics, and their beauty. Have you heard about the revolver mechanisms America's developing?
USA.
This is the gun found in Cocorico's person at the time of arrest. Standard issue percussion lock. I'm not going to try. Lots of police and soldiers carry these things. It's a gun that says, I'm a reliable man of the law. The riding crop was his defense weapon of choice. This is the gun found on the Croque Monsieur's corpse. Turnover pistol, double-barreled. This is an exquisite and highly customized gun. It's one of a kind. Whoever used this weapon knew their stuff. It's really fascinating why the Croque Monsieur's gun has the ammunition. Or the pistol's been fitted with a set of grooves. I wonder if they were doing the, that's like a very mild Snake Eater reference. Straight angle of entry. Croque Monsieur was facing his killer when he was shot. The other interesting point was that Croque Monsieur's outer clothes were singed. Typically only happens if a person is close enough to a gunshot to be directly burned by the gun's muzzle flash. Less than 3 meters, 5 at the most. Only one person was found in the Road of Monkeys at the time of the incidents. Prosecutor Cocorico. I'd like to cross-examine the witness. Shot in the chest and his clothes were singed.
I don't know. I don't think it's either the shot in the chest or the clothes were singed.
Mace pistol. Double-barreled turnover pistol. Tell us about the ammunition. Glad you asked. Most bullets are just small, round lead balls, but that's not the case here. This weapon used an advanced iron-tipped aerodynamic, carefully grooved. It would be quicker if I just showed you. This is an iron-tipped Minier ball. Very rare top-of-the-line technology. I had never seen one of these in person before. Where did you find this bullet? In the pistol's chamber. I thought he fired his gun, so how is it possible his gun was still loaded with the bullets? It's double-barreled, that means it can hold 2 bullets at once, ready to be fired in quick succession.
Where's
the other bullets? 2 shots that night, remember? One from the assailant and one from the crocodile. Did anyone find the fired ball in Cocorico's body? Where is the ball? What are you trying to get at? Bullet wasn't embedded in the alleyway wall, and it wasn't embedded in Cocorico. That means it hit the murderer.
Oh, so where the bloody...
Must still be an embedded in whoever attacked the Croque Monsieur. A ludicrous notion. Let's say a bullet did indeed hit the real perpetrator. What of it? It's only been a few hours since the shooting. Presumably the person will still have the bullet lodged in them. Find the person with a unique ball embedded in them and you find the real murderer.
You got a smoking bullet?
I believe the murderer is someone in this very room. Someone invited Cocorico and the Croque Monsieur in the same place at the same time in order to create a setup. Only someone with a rebel's connections could enter near such an event. It's Remus, because he's actually Romulus.
And Romulus is the bad guy.
He was a bad guy. He was a judge in the previous trial. We found out that he had set someone up to murder the king, and then he got out of jail. And now he's pretending to be Remus because of the story Romulus and Remus, so... Not having everyone take off their shirts. A more reasonable way. He knew his theory was true. It had to be true, but he had no way to prove it. He's floundering.
Hey, Ahan.
Set up a court, went through the motions of a trial.
Alright, can you pause? Wasn't there a Phoenix Wright thing where there was something metal and you had to use a X-ray scanner to see if the metal thing was in the person?
You've done stuff like that before, yeah. Aren't you guilty on the counts of conspiracy, of the murder of the croque monsieur, the murder of my father? I'm guessing I could have gotten more evidence. There are worse ways to go. Yeah, I was wondering that too.
Should have had the copper pot.
You have done nothing wrong. We let them go, they'll tell the police everything. It would compromise us. Two options. Shoot you here and now.
What's the other one?
Join us. We need lawyers to help bring the new republic into fruition. Someone has to draft new laws. File the paperwork. Prosecute the officials who corrupted the country.
We'll join you.
I would rather die.
Seriously?
Not after what they did. They didn't let me give the evidence.
Okay.
We would love to join you. Rebels and the Aviary attorneys. What a team. Should throw away both our lives. You can satisfy your stupid pride.
I'm with you, Sparrowson.
Play along. Yeah, I'm guessing I could have proven the bullet if I had done different things leading up to the trial.
But now you still have that gun with the special bullet knowledge, so maybe that'll come up again?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was Remus. Falcon was trying to de-escalate the situation and avoid violence. Such a viewpoint is naive, but it's exactly what we need in this revolution. Do you wish to continue? Yes. Although actually, that's probably a really good stopping point for next episode, so I think we'll wrap there, and I'll credit the time to Islua's bank. Future Marstead, here's what's going on in Aviary Attorney. You're about to start a new act, at least temporarily serving the rebels. We have no idea where we're going with that. Things that you should know from the most recent episode. It seems like Judge Romulus is actually Friar Remus. He got put in jail in the second trial, escaped, and I think he's posing as a friar right now with his actual brother being a member of the rebellion. I think that if you had done things differently in this chapter, you could have saved Miles Edgeworth, Cocorico. You got very close to being able to save him.
You're pretty sure it was the Romulus guy.
Remus, the wolf.
Remus, and that Remus has a bullet
lodged in him
from a special gun that has that special bullet.
The croque monsieur fire.
From the croque, yeah.
Yeah. So that might come up again later, or it might just be a branching path. I'm cool with it just being a branching thing. If it's just like you can lose and then keep playing, way to go, Aviary Attorney. I think that's about everything. Thanks, folks. I'll let you guys know what's coming up here.